Afternoon, everybody. Afternoon, YouTube. Make sure I'm coming through okay. Afternoon, everybody. Yeah. Paul, how you doing, bud? Good to see you back. Hope you're okay. I am a little bit positive this morning. I always have a feeling, I could be completely wrong here, but I always have a feeling when I wake up that the markets are potentially turning, and I think doing my morning scan this morning, that may be the case, you know. There's a lot of, excuse me, with my Mountain Dew. There's a lot of Tian, how you doing, mate? I've reduced the latency, so it should be quicker. There should be less lag on the stream. So if you're asking questions, I can see them in real time. But no, I have a decent feeling. Again, I could be completely wrong, but after the past week and a half, we saw it yesterday a little bit, where a few setups were coming, but you know, with JP225, which just failed, others that just failed before we even got taken in. But the setups were there, right? It was just starting to build something. And today, I think we're getting something sort of the same. So let's see. Now, this US 500 is... I'll just get my pen up. Excuse me. Is everyone okay? Anybody in any trades? Anybody trading anything? Get my pen here. So this SPX... it's kind of doing what I thought it might do, ranging between this B wave and all-time highs. We got a nice rejection here on the 4-hour. I think that was the probably volatility or liquidity grabs on US Open, which has happened, I think, most of the week. You get that 5:30 or 5:30 in UAE here, 9:30 in New York, where the stocks push down and immediately reject. So I think I've seen that twice this week. However, good rejection here on a bit of volume of this B wave, and we're pushing up to those all-time highs. Again, my bias is still the same. My bias is that on the 4-hour chart, I'll take this away because it messes up a bit. On the 4-hour chart, we look all right. You know, there's no reason why this can't go today. It's different on the daily. If we look at the daily, that 20 period starting to curl up. We're getting a few bars of consolidation, accumulation like we've seen on the 4-hour. You know, there is the potential for this to have another couple of days here. So, you know, I'm not going to put my hat on this breaking through. However, you know, within what day are we today? Wednesday. I think before the end of the week, I think we see a break into all-time highs. And the good thing is, it's a nice break. You know, it's not a break like coming up from here, which is liable to snap back and then we get into, you know, a shitty situation again. It's a market that has, over the past week and a half, started to look a lot nicer. So for me, looks good. Pushing, yeah, I agree. It's pushing. That pressure into that area is certainly getting there. Sellers are, even though they're trying to push it down, they're not taking control. Just that kind of psychology. You think about that psychology of sellers. You know, they're failing to push this market underneath this resistance area, potentially giving up. And we could see a decent breakthrough in the SPX. So I like it. I like it. I think if I'm going to put a day on it, let's say Friday, Thursday, Friday, tomorrow, Friday, I think we break into all-time highs. That would be nice. However, the Dow again playing a lot of games with me. Been in this trade for ages. Touched that supply zone yesterday. Double rejection here in the 4-hour. They're not actually hammers. They're not technically hammers, because as we know, hammers should be closing roughly thereabouts the highs. But they certainly show another rejection of this area. And I think, Tian, you were saying yesterday, right? Higher low, simple Dow theory. We may be getting that. Possible head and shoulders here. It's certainly not breaching these previous lows. You know, a breakthrough here, and I'll show on the lower time frames. A breakthrough here, yeah, I can see us getting up to this area again for sure. Knocking on the door again. We'll have the same reaction. Maybe we'll have as much of a reaction. Possibly we get, you know, our one of our favorite cup with handles to go through this area. And if we do, this is interesting as well. If we do, let's say we get a decent setup here on this trade, because yeah, it is slow, isn't it? I lost my train of thought. On this trade, because I'm on this 200k fund and it has been slow for 2 weeks, if we get a nice setup here, again, this is on this account, on my actual account, I'm not going to do this, but I might take this TP away because, you know, the health of that trend, you know, you just look at simple Dow theory potentially, might be in a decent breakthrough. And like I said, with these funded trade challenges, you kind of have to take a little bit of risk as you go along. Now, I only do that if I'm looking at the market. So if it's, let's say it's about to break potentially over Asia, I'm not going to move it because I can't see what's going on in the smaller time frames. But if that does happen, you know, I might take away that TP and just see how far it might run. So this is the area that I was talking about there on that 4 hour. Susceptible to news. Yeah, I'm not sure what news is out today. Like I said, I'm not a fundamental trader. I'm a technical trader. I believe there's the Canadian interest rate decision today, UAE time at 6, crude oil at 6:30. No, what we have tomorrow? I think tomorrow there's some CPI out. So yeah, tomorrow might be a market moving day. But again, for me, I'm not a fundamental trader. I'll just look at the charts. I'll see the market's reaction. It just makes things simple. It makes things easier for me. You know, I'm not smart enough. I didn't go to Oxford, Cambridge. You know, I went to Stirling University and studied business. But I don't like to kind of read into trends and all those numbers because, you know, why would I? How often have I seen news events go certain ways and it goes the exact opposite? So that's why I like technical analysis. But we can just see here from the trend, right? The past couple of days, look at that, 200 stagnant, 20 is stagnant. We're in between all these moving averages now. Now, sometimes you get what's called as a pinch effect. So it kind of breaks through, and once it breaks through these kind of condensed moving averages, it goes quite hard. Possibly. I mean, we can go the opposite way as well. Remember, I'm not married to the position SPX goes up. You can't be married to any position. Anything can happen. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. But we certainly get a break above this level. For me, it would make me a lot more confident in the trade. And, you know, it's struggling at this 30-minute 200, struggling at these moving averages, which is what you expect. And if we can get some bullish momentum, I can see that market moving up. And that's what I hope anyway, from a trading perspective. We get a failure. Unfortunately, I think we go into that kind of doldrums effect where, God, I've got to sit my ass for a couple more days and see what happens. Anyway, let's think positively, right? That's what we should do. China 50. Been watching this for a while. I don't think it's going to come today. I think ideally we get possibly a slightly down day, then followed by an engulfer here, followed by a hammer here, something like that on high volume. Ideally an engulfer because I like to be above the 20. 20 is that visual guide of trend. That's a bad drawing. Maybe something like this to take that trade to the upside. So China 50 is still setting up. It's not quite there yet. Euro Swiss. Euro Swiss again. This is a trade that I like. Swiss, I think, to be honest, I think these two individual currencies on their own are probably my least favorite to trade, the euro and the Swiss. I find their movement, not saying that I'm not profitable in them, but I just don't particularly like them. You know, the Swiss has a habit of being very temperamental, you know, and, you know, doesn't usually conform to its traditional risk-off bias and can get very strong very quickly, very weak very quickly. So really with the euro and the Swiss, I don't particularly like them, but this setup is nice. Head and shoulders wasn't enough there because of this structure for me to take a break. But I had strong break on decent volume. That's what I like to see, and we'll look to be in. Can you see that well enough? If I zoom in, we look to be in that steady state retest at the moment. That 20 period is catching up. Resistance area, we've tagged it once here, and again, my favorite catalyst, my favorite retest is this long wick hammer, rejection of that 20, high volume coming in. You know, I play that to the downside because the setup is there. Even though stocks may push, Swiss may become weak, I don't trade what I think. I obviously trade what I see. And even though I don't agree with buying the Swiss, you know, that is what it is. And the thing is here, as I've talked about, that 61.8 fib level is the line in the sand for me in terms of trend, right? This area is the kind of line in the sand for trend continuation. We've broken through that now, and it looks to be like we're retesting it, right? We do have this daily 200, but again, if we get 1 to 1 hour as risk reward before that, is our TP before that, then that's okay for me to take. So I mean, I don't mind that trade, Euro Swiss. Let's see if it retests. And the retest again, you know, compared to the breakout, just gives you that, you know, added protection, riding your bike with a helmet. EJ is another we've been looking. This is, again, looks okay. Had our fake out here when we were looking at this setup. I've disregarded this now. New setups come from here. This cup with handle, complete rejection, push through. Now again, why I like this, the 1 hour, where's the 1 hour 200? So the 1 hour 200 again is a slight barrier, but let's see what we get with risk reward, and let's see if it actually sets up firstly. So breaking through, and if we get a retest here, you've kind of got your retest on 1, 2, 3, right? You got your catalyst on volume, whatever it is, Morningstar, Hammer, Engulfer, simple patterns. On a bit of volume, you've got dynamic support to price now with that 200. You've got the dynamic support to price with that 20 period curling up, indicating an upward trend for that movement to the upside. Again, the only issue is with this EJ, even though I like it, is that 200 on the 1 hour. You know, and also, you know, you got to still look at this with the other edge of the coin. However, you can also look at this, right? A nice daily trend pulled back to that 20. Yeah, I like that. I like EJ as well. But again, even though I can like it as much as I want, it's got to get a setup that I like. GJ was another one. GJ, one of my favorite pairs. But I think this may have broken too hard. So V reversal, good reload, cup with handle within a cup with handle, break through this area. I think, to be honest, that may have just gone. When pound wants to move, it will move. I don't think I can see a retest of that area. You know, sometimes a retest, it has broken through. You don't want to come back down and make it look like a bit of a rejection V reversal, right? So, yeah, let's see what happens with GJ. I don't mind it. The daily context is great. Getting that AB. Let me know if I'm going too fast, by the way. I mean, this is just how my mind goes. I can look at things quite quickly. But you're getting that ABC reset on the daily back to that 20. Possibly ready for continuation to the upside. Maybe. And here again, here's another example. Actually, let's go into this. This is a good bit of possibly learning for you. Let me zoom out, sorry. Where's it gone? Okay, here. Now look at this, right? Look at this. This is a great example of why I think simplicity works the best. Okay, you got your 20 period curling up here, right? Just by looking at it, you can see rising pressure into this area, rejection of that area, rejection of the 20, good bullish engulfer, okay, slight fake here. After the fake, another good bullish bar, good bullish day. 3 days of a consolidation, 3 days of accumulation prior to that level. Probably liquidity grab down to that 20, but again, touch that 20, high volume, complete rejection, and then boom, GJ. That, my friends, is lovely. Yeah, correct. You know, all these fancy indicators, all this, you know, crap. You know, can people not see that? Can people not see the simplicity? And it's not just me, by the way. I was reading a book, or I've read that book. I don't know if you read it. It's the Interviews with Market Wizards. And almost every single one. This is guys like, God, I've forgotten all their names now. Basically, all the famous investors. A lot of them say, one of the main things, keep it simple. 2, don't trade as often. Interviews with market wizards. I think I have it. I'll bring it on tomorrow, Tiana, to show you. But it's a great book. And it talks about their journey towards becoming, kind of getting where they are now. And I promise you, most of them will tell you simplicity, trade less. You know, simplicity, trade less, and obviously, as we all know, risk management is very important. But that's good if you go back into your charts. You know, take a screen grab of that. Take a screen grab of that rising pressure into the level, and certainly looking at the detail. This detail here, right before the level, because as we know, that's the most important part for me. Right before that area of where the potential breakouts, you know, come from. And again, as I've probably shown in another chart, we look at this pound Swiss, and, you know, the pounds are good for this type of action when it wants to go. I mean, look at that again. Exact same thing. Bang. That is a hell of a trade. Stop loss there, wait for your swing. Stop loss there, wait for your swing. Stop loss there, out. And your stop could be here, your stop could be here. My stop was here. You know, 1, 2, 3. 3R almost. Yeah, great trades. Great breakout trades. And it shows the power of the higher time frames as well. Because you might have a slight fake here on this day, right? If you're taking it on the lower time frames, which you could be out of, you know, if you think about that, you know, on a 30-minute, on a 15-minute. And it just shows you the power of higher time frames, in my personal opinion, and winning more trades. Okay, where am I? Pound New Zealand. Pound New Zealand. By the way, if you're anyone's watching who's not subbed, my goal today is to get to 50 subs. I'm on 49. If anybody watching is not subbed, if they could hit the subscribe button, that would be lovely. I'm supposed to say that now, apparently. I never say that. When I do Nick streams as well, I forget my YouTube name and everything. But yeah, if you're watching and you're not subbed, 50 would be good. No, I'm not on. I only do A1 on Mondays at 6, but I'm not doing it next Monday because I'm a big football fan, right? So Scotland's playing its first game in 23 years at the Euros, and it's on at 5 o'clock on Monday, so I'm going out to get pished. So I'm going to change next week. Only next week I'm going to change to Thursday. V reversal here, pound New Zealand daily. Maybe we get something as we've just seen. We're getting another reload here. The only thing I'm looking for, this is probably potentially next week, is this can come up, you know, get that 20 again, similar to what we've just seen on those setups. Get that 20 to go long. So you can see here, just by looking at the charts, things are starting to look okay. And I hope I don't eat my hat on that. Aussie dollar. Oh, I didn't look at the dollar. I'll look at the dollar quickly. So with the dollar, I'm predicting potentially that trend continuation to the downside, dollar weakness. You know, we've got rejections here. We had a big push up, completely rejected. Sellers buying into that rise. Sellers buying into Sellers buying into any dollar strength. And, you know, potentially we get in this, head and shoulders. Also, as another note, with the head and shoulders, I know there's probably, I'm talking a lot and getting stuff to get your head around, but the head and shoulders that look a bit obscure usually work the best, right? So if you get your, I'm not going to say what this looks like, I always get immature, but if you get your kind of textbook head and shoulders, sometimes they don't work as well as your kind of, you know, strange ones, you know, like that. So potentially here, we see dollar coming down again. As continued dollar weakness for next week. We look at that daily, you know, corrective from this move down, major kind of corrective. Could it come up and continue this? Yes, it could. But my bias is for dollar weakness to continue probably next week or the end of this week onwards. Aussie dollar. So Aussie dollar, we're looking at this, you know, V reversal basing pattern, if you want to call it. Technically you get your V reversal and then you get your kind of, or cradle pattern, should we say, that looks like this. Very slight differences, but essentially meaning the same thing. Coming up. You're okay, Parsa? How you doing, mate? I've just kind of started. I've only got 3 pairs left, but it's all right. So the V reversal. And remember, with the V reversal, in order for it to be valid, it's got to break through these highs, right? From the initial drop. And look at that. Where do we think stops are? You think stops are there? I personally do. And you know, we're looking for this to push up, reload again. That 20 there, that 200 there, push Aussie dollar to the upside. The only thing, yeah, no worries, mate. Cheers, Tian. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it. The only thing here is it's got a bit of resistance to the upside, right? There's a few levels here that we could see resistance to price. But overall, I kind of like the Aussie dollar. Got that almost bullish 180 on the daily. So I don't mind that. Don't mind that as a setup going long. What else have we got? So my two favorites for today are these two. Euro pound, which is actually a setup here on the daily. This is actually a setup. However, so we've got our head and shoulders pattern here on the daily. We're obviously trending to the downside. We've had a slight pullback in the euro that has been rejected, right? And on this bar, you could take that as a breakout right here and stops here. What I want to see, right, and what I'm looking for is this 4-hour chart. Take the structure as a smaller, you know, stick the structure from here. You've got a big V reversal, A, B, C, right? You've got your A, B, C. Big hammer here on C, clearly showing rejection. Pound's gaining a little bit of strength. What I want to see on this 4-hour, just for a little bit of, you know, less risk reward, should I say, or your stop loss is less to go to the downside on Euro GBP. So your stops there rather than your stops all the way up here, because obviously you've got to go all the way down here to get 1-to-1. So this is what I want to see. Now, like I said, it is a setup. I don't mind if you take that on the daily now. You could put your sell stop in and put your stop loss there. And I might still do that, but I'm just waiting for, again, a little bit of a better trade, because I fancy this for downward movement. You know, the writing was kind of here, big bar. It shows you one big bar. Look how long it takes to digest. Another rejection here. You know, you talk about simple Dow theory. Lower lows, hammer candle here. Yeah, that looks good to the downside. Euro GBP, and finally USD SEK. USD SEK as well is quite nice, and I like this pair, right? I like trading USD SEK because in currencies like ZAR, SEK, namely those two are the two of the main ones I trade, the exotics, as you'd say. Once it goes full-blown risk on, full-blown risk off, these really move. Like, they really move. You know, you think about here and here. You know, risk off, US dollar strength, these pairs really move. And that's what I kind of like about them. So this, as we can see, you can probably tell now what I'm looking at. You can take this as a potential head and shoulders. I'm taking it from here. V reversal, we're getting that corrective. Pushing through that corrective, take that short. Now, you know, we got that rejection hammer of the 20. I'm going to continue to look at this for the day, and if you are a member of the website, I'll post a signal if I get it. But, you know, I just probably want another reload here to go short. Again, get that pressure, that pencil into the area before a snap through. So, USD SEK and Euro Pound I do really like. On the day. I think that's it. I'm not sure if I've missed anything, have I? No. I was looking at Aussie CAD, but Aussie CAD kind of failed. Aussie CAD on the 30-minute. Yeah, see, it was looking quite nice here. Got ABC here. I don't mind this wick pushing up and completely failed at that level. So yeah, that's kind of unfortunately got to go. But there's enough there. There's enough there for me to be quite confident for the day ahead. I think maybe tomorrow is our day, and it would be nice to get some winners, because, you know, I don't know about you, but I want to make a trade. I want to make some money, and I need to make some money now because, you know, I'm sitting on 198. I need to get some money and get going, or else, unfortunately, if I don't get those trades, I'm going to have to just go for it. You know, potentially look at the scalping charts and try and weasel my way into a free repeat, because, you know, unfortunately, market conditions haven't been great. But let's see. I like it. Let's see. I like where we're going. We can't be quiet forever. Now look at it also, just before I go. If we had this, right? If you had this underneath this area, so an ABC, that would be nice. But anyway, it's not. So that's it. Any questions? Anything you want me to look at? Let me know now. If not, I will love you and leave you. And if we do get some nice trades, I'll take it as a good omen for Scotland. Maybe we end up winning our first game. But if not, I guess no. But if not, I'll see you all tomorrow. Again, if you haven't subbed, please subscribe. I'm looking for one new subscriber for 50. And I'll be a happy man. So thanks, guys. I appreciate you joining. Thanks to the regulars. I appreciate you joining again. And I'll see you all tomorrow. And I'll see some of you for the afternoon stream on the website. Take care, guys.